Welcome, 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 all of my devious degenerates out there in Fantasyverse. Thank you for rocking with Rich and I tonight. The season is coming. The season is coming. And whether you are getting those fantasy points by air or by the ground, or if they're lost on your bench, we are here for you. And tonight, my partner in crime and I, we are going to be perusing the AFC to inform you about players that we like, that we're trying to scoop up on our dynasty teams, hoping that you might like them as well, and they will help you just dominate your leagues because that's what we want. We're here about winning. So, Rich, it's good seeing you tonight, my friend, but can you do me a favor? It's too quiet. Can you play the music, sir?
Here we go.
Hello, 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 everybody. Again, welcome everybody who is tuning in on YouTube, or if you're listening to us via podcast. We're so happy that you are here with us, and we're going to have fun tonight. Like Rich, we're going to have fun. So I thank each and every one of you for having us with you. Absolutely. If you are watching on YouTube right now, remember to go ahead and get in that chat, like post your comments, like chat, tweet us, come out whatever you have. Roster question, it really doesn't matter. You throw it in there. We are answering absolutely everything that you might have. If you ask me what my favorite Gatorade flavor is tonight, I'll tell you. So whatever questions. It's red, by the way, and don't say fruit punch. I'm gonna say red. But Rich, my friend, so happy to see you tonight, man. How are you doing?
Absolutely. I'm doing good. It's my Friday. I got the next couple days off. I got a 4-day stretch, so I'm feeling pretty good tonight. I'm happy.
Good.
How about you?
It is not my Friday. As a matter of fact, my Thursday is going to feel like a Monday because I have so much catching up to do. But it's all good. It's better to be busy than to be like, I don't know, bored, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So Labor Day weekend is coming up. Do you have any plans?
Working.
Okay.
This is my Labor Day weekend right now.
Okay. All right. So, hey, I'll start off with a hard-hitting question for you.
Yeah.
All right. Are you doing any grilling out this week? On your weekend?
No, I am not.
Okay.
I'm gonna be at the Minnesota State Fair enjoying all of the deep fried everything on a stick.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So my question was going to be, if you had a hot dog, what toppings do you put on your hot dog?
Ooh. All right. So, actually, I'm going to go a little bit outside the box here and go with a little bit different. And this is a little strange, I know. So I'm gonna catch some flack for it. But that's okay. I love to put barbecue sauce and mayo on my hot dogs. I know that's weird.
All right.
If we're going traditional, I want all the fixings. I want the ketchup. I want the mustard. I want the relish. I want the onions. I want all the fixings.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I get down if I'm going all out. But I am a ketchup, mustard, relish kind of person. But there's a lot of people out there that, say it's blasphemy to put anything other than mustard on a hot dog. And I tell those people, well, you eat it your way and I'll eat it my way.
That's right.
There we go.
I thought this was America. Isn't this America?
I
thought this was America.
You're absolutely right. One day, next 4th of July, we should have like a contest. You could be Chestnut, I'll be Kobayashi, and we'll go head to head.
Oh man.
Have a hot dog. That's where I'm at. But... All right. Yes. And like I said, tonight we are going to have fun. We're going to be talking about the AFC, like some of our guys. I don't know if is this flag planting season? I hear that it is. So I don't know if I have anybody that I'm firmly planting my flag on, but I know these are some guys that I'm trying to scoop up just because I feel that the price is right.
Right.
So, Rich, let's go ahead and get into it. It's going to be a good show tonight. So the first thing we're talking about, news and nugs of the week. First off, TJ Hawkinson. He's going to start the season on the PUP. Are you surprised? Are you worried? How do you feel about it as the resident Vikings fan?
Right. I expected this to happen, honestly. This is kind of what this is the way things were trending. I was really hoping that, you know, he had gotten the I was hoping back when the surgery or the injury happened that he was going to have plenty of time to be recovered and everything by the time the season started. But as we saw and as news came out as the year progressed, it just wasn't happening. So I'm actually kind of happy about this. I think that he's going to be slow rolled into it. I don't think O'Connell's going to rush him back until he's 100% ready to go. But once he comes back, he will be a big part of the offense. And there is a reason why he was. Yes, I am a Vikings fan, damn it. No, there's a reason why he was my tight end 1 last year. And he was on track for it too, all the way to that injury.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's much surprising to anyone that Hawkinson's going to start the season off on the pup. But the good thing is that he's working his way back, you know, so that's always a good thing. And I think when he gets on the field, you know, he can come and do some things. But I really don't know what the expectation is for Minnesota this year. Like, are you expecting a 4th place finish in the division? You know, are you?
All right, so like, gotta put my bias aside, right? I'm trying to put my bias aside here. No, I really do.
I want your bias.
You want my bias?
Yeah.
Okay, so my bias is I really do think the Vikings are going to surprise people this year. Are we going to win the division? No, I don't think we're going to win the division. But I do think that we come in at least 3rd and we push for 2nd. I think there's a chance. I think that people and I should have got into this last week and hadn't been one of my guys, but I think people are really down on Darnold and are just sleeping on him. And I get why. Don't get me wrong. I get why.
When you see ghosts, it's hard to come back from that.
It is. But he looked really good. Those I keep looking back to when he was with the Panthers when he had Christian McCaffrey and he had DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
In those first 4 weeks, he looked excellent. He was averaging 22 points a game.
Okay.
Like, he was doing good. DJ Moore was averaging 22 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
They were clicking.
Okay.
And Christian McCaffrey went down, and it was all downhill after that.
Okay.
So
no, I'm good. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I do think the Vikings push. I like O'Connell and Kwesi have shown that they're not going to just roll over and play for a good draft pick. They're going to play to win. So.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is like when Darnold was in Carolina, you didn't watch those games, did you? You just saw the box score. I know you didn't watch those games.
No.
Darnold didn't watch those games.
He was too busy watching the ghosts.
He left them in New York. That was killing all the Achilles up at MetLife Stadium. It's not even MetLife Stadium anymore. It's the ghost that Darnold was seeing. That's taking out people's like.
Right. He tried to warn us.
He did.
He tried to warn us.
Pay attention, guys. Albert, good to see you as always.
What up, Albert?
All right. Dalvin, we just saw him with his workout video, like getting his Leonard Fournette on, like, you know, losing a little bit of LBs and, you know, posting a workout. He's going to the Cowboys. Do you think that he immediately supplants Dowdle, or do you think he's just somebody who is not really ever going to get off the practice squad?
I think, and I already caught flack for this in the Fantasy and Frames chat, in the draft show chat. I really do think that Dalvin Cook is going to surprise people as well. He is 2 years removed from being RB11. Last year was a bad business decision. It wasn't that he doesn't have it anymore. It was just a bad business decision. Okay. He didn't realize Breece Hall was going to come back and be the running back that Breece Hall is. Like, that's who he got beat out by. It's not like he got beat out by Devin Singletary or you know, like Joe Mixon or something like that. Like, he got beat out by one of the best backs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame him at all for having lost that job last year. Last year. So I really do think that, you know, you give him a chance in an offense, an explosive offense like what the Cowboys have. I'm not saying that he's going to return back to being an RB1, but he definitely is a good sleeper to be an RB2.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it's gonna to work out. Like, I really don't know what to expect from Zeke. I really don't know what to expect from Dalvin, but I do know that when that running back cliff comes, it's fast, it's swift, and it is deadly. So if they are done, you know, we'll see it soon enough. Another move, Samaje Perine to the Chiefs. This making you feel good about Pacheco? Are you worried at all, or do you care?
No, I'm not worried. Honestly, I think Pacheco has solidified himself as being the back there. He's done a great job with the bit that he's shown with what he has shown. He's done a really good job. I can't see Samaje Perine supplanting him in any way, shape, or form, or even really coming for much of the touches. He might relieve him from time to time, but that's about it.
Okay. Is Perine going to supplant Carson Steele?
That's a good question.
That is not a good question. Of course he is. Everybody who was going crazy about that little run that Steele had in the preseason and all this stuff. Like, come on, guys. Like,
it was so beautiful, though. It was so beautiful.
It really wasn't. It really wasn't. It looked like a bunch of people who were trying out for an NFL football team that none of them are going to be playing on Sundays. That's kind of what it looked like to me. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The guy's running like a, almost a 540. Like he's not the answer. But anyhow, Marshawn Lloyd, he avoids the IR. You think that's good for your second team, or how do you feel about that?
Damn you. No, so little concern for Jacobs. I just wrote about Josh Jacobs in my last article for Fantasy and Frames. You can find it now. But I'm only slightly concerned for Jacobs. It was always expected that they were going to have somebody helping relieve Jacobs from being the go-to back all the time. Mm-hmm. And I still think Marshawn Lloyd will be that guy to come in every now and then to take the, he'll be the Gerhardt to Adrian Peterson. I'm not expecting him to be huge this year by any means, but I do think that that Lloyd will at least have some decent games. He'll have some big gains, and he'll have a decent year.
I can't believe you just said the Gerhardt to Adrian Peterson.
Hey.
Like Toby, I forgot Toby played it.
Hey, when Toby was with the Vikings, he was decent. When Toby tried to go off on his own, it fell off that cliff.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I just wish I could ask Marshawn Lloyd, how do you feel being compared to being called the Toby Gerhardt?
Right. No, that's good.
Yeah, right. Pretty much the only other thing of note, Russ has been named the starter, but we spoke about that last week. We really weren't surprised. We were expecting that. And Gerard Mayo is going to make an announcement tomorrow whether it's going to be Jacoby Brissett or Drake May starting the season. So we can talk about that right before kickoff next week. It's going to be a good show, guys. Yeah, also, to all those people who are going to be in the listener league with us, I'm sorry, because the vampire is going to be out there doing work. Rich, do you know if there are any spots open?
I was just going to say, I believe there's one spot left. Ooh. I believe, if I'm correct, there's one spot left. There's somebody that I tried to reach out to earlier. He never got back to me. Okay. So if you can come up with a good team name, hit us up.
All right. You heard him. You heard, like, Rich is the man in charge. He is the gatekeeper.
I wouldn't go that far.
And, right now you are. So if you want to be in the listener league, it's going to be fun. And you have to come up with a good team name, as Rich said, or he'll say, "You shall not pass." And I said that wrong, but we're going to keep moving on. But yes.
I'll Gandalf your ass.
But yeah, so through the show, just put those like great team names that you can think of that it's a vampire theme name. And at the end of the show, Rich will pick the best one, and you can be the last member in our listener league with the draft show and Dynasty 365. So you get to hang out with us, laugh, and have a lot of fun. All right, Rich. I know ever since the on-air light went off last week, you've been ready to get in and talk about these guys that you love in the AFC. I know you have, and I can see it in your face right now. So, without further ado, Rich, let's go ahead and dig into it a little bit.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the AFC North. Let's just follow the way of the compass, right?
Right.
So we're going to start true north. Tell me, Rich, in the AFC North, who's somebody that you're trying to go after right now in dynasties?
Sure. So, my first target that I'm going after, a little bit spendier than my next target, but T. Higgins. I really love T. Higgins. And I was saying this whole offseason, I was hoping that he was going to get traded. I really was. I wanted him to go someplace where he could be a wide receiver one, because I think that he has that ability to be a wide receiver one.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe we'll get to see him be a wide receiver one if this Chase holdout keeps going the way that it's going right now. But no, I think this is a long-term play. If you trade for T. Higgins now, you're going to have to pay for him. You're going to have to go out and get him and everything. Mm-hmm. But 2021 and 2022, he was averaging 15 points a game or better. I mean, he can put up great numbers. He's been a wide receiver too so far, but again, I think that's just because of the fact that he's been stuck behind Jamar Chase this whole time. If you put him on like the Packers, which that's one of the places I was hoping he'd go to.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. I think he would have lit it up, and I would have been crying on Sundays.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can't really, I don't have anything disparaging. Adverse to say to anything that you just said. That's the word that I'm looking for there. I mean, because it does make sense. Like T. Higgins, he absolutely does have the talent. And if he goes somewhere else, he could be that wide receiver one that everybody wants him to be, like kind of was hoping that he would be until Chase came to town. And so it would be nice. I would like to see him get a fresh start somewhere else. I just hope that he lands in a good spot and he's able to just have a thriving career. So
right.
Yeah, that's a good person to go up. But with that team, like as it's composed right now, I'm targeting somebody on that team as well. It's Jamar Chase. No, I'm joking. Don't get me wrong. I love Jamar Chase. I think he is one of the best wide receivers in the league. Questionably the best in the league. But his price tag is a little too high for my liking. So I walk right past Couture, and I'm going straight to the 99-cent bin. And I like to, find treasures that can help me get to where I want to be. So for me, I'm targeting Chase Brown.
There you go.
The reason why I am targeting Chase Brown is because he is so ridiculously cheap. Like, even if you're paying attention in the preseason, just looking at the things that he was doing, he got some run with the ones, and he's doing all this. But when you look at these drafts, he's not up there when people are looking at it. Per ADP for Dynasty League Football, like right now in Dynasty startups, he's been going as the RB38. So the RB38 on a team, that Cincinnati Bengals offense is a booming offense when Joe Burrow is healthy and they are rolling. And even if you're trying to trade for him, like his value is like a 2025 like second right now. But I'm telling you, I've been talking and moving around in leagues, and his value is not even that high. You can get him a lot cheaper because people are really not out on him. Like I said, He's good in camp. He's taking snaps with the ones. He is dynamic. He has really good hands, and he gives them some juice when he gets out there on the field. And the number one reason why I like him so much is he has a clear path to opportunity in an offense that is booming. And his only person really standing in his way is Zach Moss. Zach Moss. I'm not saying anything about Zach Moss, but Zach is a journeyman. He's been around a couple teams. I mean, he's flashed a couple weeks. He's done his thing, but I do not look at him as somebody to hold it down, and I'm just going to put my season on. I don't think Zach Moss is as good as Joe Mixon. Absolutely not. And I think that Chase Brown will get on the field a decent amount of time. And because of the price tag, I want to have that guy. So if he does see a lot of touches in a potent offense, then I already got him on my team versus people scouring the waiver wire for him. So give him to me cheap. I like his price.
Right? No, I'm with you on that. I started off this offseason against Chase Brown. I did not like what I saw last year, and I just when actually really what it came down to was when Zach Moss went there. I was like, oh, he's finally got a chance. Zach Moss, he's on a team. He's gonna be number one. He's gonna do this thing. But from this offseason, everything that I've seen Chase Brown do, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I do think that he's gonna. I think he's gonna take over that backfield before too long. So
I would love to see it because I got a decent amount of Chase Brown shares.
Right,
so
right.
We will see what happens. And the beautiful thing is, if he doesn't, if he fails to launch, you didn't give up much to acquire him, so you really didn't lose anything. But if he does ascend and he's actually if he gives you a RB2 or weekly flex play value return on what you paid for him, then you won.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what you're looking for, and that's not an extremely high bar to get.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No. I was just going to ask, who's your number 2 guy? That's your number 1 guy. Who's your number 2 guy in the AFC North?
Well,
are we still thrift shopping here? Or?
Well, it's like I don't. So, like a proud parent, I don't play favorites. So my favorite is who I'm talking about at the time, or who I'm talking to at the time, or whatever. Right.
Right.
But yes, this next player that I'm going to talk about, he's not bargain shopping. I absolutely love him, and I think he is going to be an absolute beast this season, and he's going to stay healthy. So Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know if anybody's heard of him.
Who? I don't think Mark Andrews?
Yeah. So he is their he's a tight end, for the Baltimore Ravens, and he was lighting it up. He got hurt, missed him a little time, and then people just completely seemed to forget about him because rookies were out there doing their thing, and Sam Laporta made people forget that there's people who've been playing the position longer, doing it for a long time. But Mark Andrews, he is my guy, and the reason why I like Mark Andrews is that I see him slipping a little bit. Yes, he's getting a little bit older, but people are really pushing up these rookies. The resurgence of Kyle Pitt. Kyle Pitt, is that his name? Pitt.
Kyle Pitts.
I'm saying Pitt because he didn't deserve this. This is how he's played in his season.
Oh,
I set you up for that one. I thank you for knocking it down. But so he's coming. So everybody's looking at him because he's got a new head coach and he has a new quarterback, the best quarterback he's had in his professional career. Sam Laporta, he came out there, he did his thing with his 10 touchdowns, and he's doing all the other stuff. And so people are excited about the tight end position, and they kind of forget the old consistency that is Mark Andrews. So he is elite at the tight end position. He's one of the top tier tight ends in fantasy football. And honestly, having a strong tight end really is going to make you feel so much better when you look across the board and you see somebody starting Johnny Smith. You feel so much better when you see that, right? He's been consistent over the past few seasons. He's been that consistent performer, regularly finishing in the top 5 of the tight end. He is a key target in that passing game. Lamar absolutely loves him, and we saw when they were on the field, even with Zay Flowers, he was still the top guy. Which brings me to his high target share. He often sees a majority of the percentage of the team's targets, especially in the red zone, which is what makes you like him even more. It's so delicious having that red zone threat. And when you have Lamar Jackson, who loves him, and the offense is set up to kind of run through him, you cannot be mad at that. And so for that reason, knowing that I can get him cheaper than what I think his value is right now, not a ton cheaper, don't get me wrong, but I like Andrews. And if that's my guy, you can't have him. Who's somebody else you're targeting in the AFC North?
So I'm going bargain bin shopping. I'm picking through the scraps that you left behind and trying to find somebody. And I'm gonna be honest, this next guy, I can't quit him. I can't. I've tried. I've tried. Didn't try very hard, I'll be honest. Jerry Jeudy. Right? So when it comes to cheap, he's about as cheap as they come. nobody's really expecting a whole lot from him anymore. You know, former first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Not really hasn't done much with the opportunities they had in Cleveland or in Denver. Now he's in Cleveland, and I honestly think that this new environment is exactly what he needs. I think the biggest thing is that he's going to be playing with a vet like Amari Cooper. He's going to have that vet experience that he never really got while he was in Denver.
Okay.
And I think that's going to help mold him to be the receiver that I've always thought that he could be. He just needed somebody to help him bring it down a little bit. You know what I mean? So I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, like you were talking about with Chase Brown, it's not going to cost me much to be wrong in this scenario. So I'm more than happy to pay the price for Jerry Jeudy.
That's beautiful. Jerry Jeudy, I mean, I really hope that Jerry Jeudy does the things to make you happy, because for me, I quit him a long time ago. Because I saw a Jerry Jeudy like a while ago, you know, like I don't know if you are familiar with Ted Ginn Jr., but Jerry Jeudy reminds me of a poor man's Ted Ginn Jr. Ted dropped a lot of passes. You know, I was mad that the Miami Dolphins drafted him number 7 overall. I'm still a little upset about that, but he came in and, you know, he dropped a lot of passes and he never lived up to the potential that everybody thought he would. You know, he was prolific as a returner, except he fumbled a lot of those too. And then he went to Carolina and he was a number 1 receiver, and they went to a Super Bowl and he dropped like a surefire touchdown in the Super Bowl, which kind of like got in Cam's head. Then it never was the same. So I blame him for that. I blame him for the Dolphins having 4 losing seasons. That's on Ted Ginn. I blame him for the Panthers losing that Super Bowl because his egregious drop like changed momentum. And I blame him for the 49ers not winning a Super Bowl because he was out injured. And had he been back there to return the punt, they wouldn't have fumbled it. And then they win that game. So Jerry Jeudy is lower than that to me, but you know, don't worry about me fighting you for that.
Yeah. See, but that's exactly it. So if you had Jerry Jeudy for some odd reason on your team right now, you just be like, take him. Mm-hmm. Just take him.
I did trade Jerry Jeudy for Jahan Dotson in like a 2025 second, which blew my mind.
Dang.
Blew my mind. And the beautiful thing about it is I didn't initiate the trade. Somebody came looking because I was like, hey, Judy's on the block.
Right. There you go.
I love dreamers. I love hopers and dreamers because, you know, they see the potential that he has and they like, this is going to be the year he puts it together. And
here I am. Yeah. Nope. I hear you.
Hey, but so I know that you love Jeudy, but we're going to move down south. We're going to go to the AFC South. Who do you love for the AFC South? Who's somebody that, you know, you're trying to pick up on all your teams?
Sure. So I'm first guy that I'm going to mention here is a guy that I really like coming out of college, and I'm really excited about what he's going to do. Taking the rookie Brian Thomas. I think right now is going to be your last chance to really get many shares of him, because I really think that he is exactly what that team has been missing this whole time. He's exactly what Trevor Lawrence has been missing this whole time. You know, you got that LSU connection. Never really played together, but hey, you know, they got that LSU connection, and he has looked really great this offseason. I mean, you look at the training camp highlights. Yes, it's training camp highlights, but still, the catches that he's made, he's looked really good out there. He looked really good in the off season or in the preseason games that we saw. Him and Lawrence seem like they have a good connection already. So I'm excited for what Brian Thomas is going to bring to the game. And I'm trying to grab him everywhere that I can. And in best ball leagues, redraft, normally I don't take rookies, and I'm still grabbing him.
Nice.
Just throwing that out there.
I understand. I like that a lot. And I like where you're going, because you make some very good points or whatever when you're talking about, you know, like the team aspect down there, and then the rapport that Trevor Lawrence is having with Brian Thomas. But you know somebody else that Trevor Lawrence has rapport with? He's played with him for a little bit longer than Brian Thomas.
No.
My guy that I'm going after, Christian Kirk.
Oh,
I love Christian Kirk this season just because I feel that he is in he's in a really good spot right now based on that. I do believe, like you said, with Trevor Lawrence being the passer down there, that there's a lot of potential for that. Kirk, he's been a reliable fantasy performer, like especially in the last couple of seasons. Like after he got paid and everybody's like, what are you guys doing? You know, when they reset that whole wide receiver market. I mean, he finished as a solid wide receiver too, you know, or a flex shop.
Yep.
And in 2023, he had a very strong season in which he posted over 1,000 yards and he had 8 touchdowns, demonstrating his ability to contribute regularly, which is what you want. When you look at how that team is constructed right now, I don't see where Kirk doesn't have a high target volume. The Jaguars offense, like they do get a little pass heavy sometimes. And I think he will lead the team in targets, even with the addition of Brian. Strong connection with the quarterback. Like you mentioned that, you know, that he has that, but Kirk really does have a strong rapport with Trevor Lawrence. And, you know, this connection, it's vital for the success because when they have that trust and, you know, that chemistry with each other, being where, you know, your quarterback likes to see you on the field or him knowing how you like to get the pass in certain situations really does make a difference. So I think on third downs and I think in the red zone, it's going to be really good, especially because Kirk, he is very versatile and he has a dynamic route tree, which it's always a beautiful thing. But
he excelled in the red zone. He did a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yep. And without Calvin Ridley, I think that he will as well. And I mean, I think it's going to be mainly him and Ingram who are going to be like the first options. And then we move on from there. But I don't know if that means anything to you. If we just talked about, you know, 2 of the pass catchers down there in Jacksonville, but I think there's another person in Jacksonville that, you know, you're kind of interested in.
Right. Yeah. No, there is. Let's go 3 for 3 and just stay in Jacksonville for some crazy reason. Because who would have ever thought that Jacksonville is where you want to get all your dynasty players from? I'm going with Trevor Lawrence. Oh, Brandon doesn't agree with me.
Brandon does not agree with me. He gave you a preemptive Lawrence.
He did. He was like, it's like he knew I was coming, and he was just like, no. No, I really like Trevor Lawrence. A couple years ago, I had him in my top 5, I believe, in quarterbacks. I thought he was going to make that breakout year. He's been a quarterback 1 or close to the last couple of years. He hasn't done what we all thought that he was going to do when he came out. Like there's a lot of expectations on Trevor Lawrence when he came out as a rookie. Everybody thought that he was going to be the next, you know, Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck. Like he was the best prospect that had come out since then. So everybody thought that he was going to be amazing and really light it up. But he didn't. He kind of struggled. And I blame that on Urban Meyer. And that's why we are where we are right now, where Trevor Lawrence is somewhat of a decent buy, even though the fact that he has finished as a quarterback 1. I think that you can still get him. He was a quarterback 2 last year, quarterback 1 year the year before. Thanks, Blake Bortles. Oh, come on now. Come on, Brandon. He ain't that bad. No. And you know, he was discounted because of those disappointing seasons, but he has shown, like I said, he can be one of those top end quarterbacks. And that's what I want. Like I like you want one of the top guys, right? Like you always want one of the top guys, but that's not necessarily always feasible. You're not going to get all of the Jalen Hurts. You're not going to get Josh Allen. Most of the time, you can't even pry those guys away from the owner's hands. But Trevor Lawrence, you could probably make a deal and get Trevor Lawrence on your team if you needed to. And it's going to be just like Jared Goff was a couple of years ago, where everybody was completely out on Jared Goff, and he's been putting up quarterback 1 numbers ever since. Like, give my man a chance. I'm telling you.
Okay.
He's gonna make you proud.
Yeah, so this is the year that he's gonna put it all together. You know, this is a big put it all together year. But
Brandon is just coming for me.
They give him up cheap. I mean, does Trevor Lawrence owe you money, Brandon? And Trevor. But all right, so before I tell you like my guy from the AFC South, we got a question in the chat, and it's from Collusion65, and he's asking, what do we think of his team? and we'll run it through real quick. He has Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, and at flex he has Zay Flowers, Kyle Pitts at tight end. This is a 12-man PPR, and he drafted this team from the 7th spot.
So I need to ask you, sir. Your name is Collusion65. Who did you collude with to get this team? Because my goodness. No, I love this team. Kyler Murray is one of my guys this year. I love Kyler Murray. I was going to talk about him last week, but we ran out of time. Justin Jefferson, I mean, come on, I'm a Vikings fan. Of course, he's the best receiver in the league.
Okay, yeah.
Love me some Devonta Smith. Josh Jacobs, like I said, starting out the podcast here. I just wrote about Josh Jacobs, and you can find him on Fantasy and Frames and see why I love him. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be solid for you. I like Zay Flowers. Maybe he's the weakest of the bunch, but that's why he's your flex, and that's okay. That's okay. And then Kyle Pitts is my tight end 1. Again, Kyle Pitts, tight end 1.
So Kevin Pitt, like I'm hearing that he's supposed to be a good tight end or something. That's cool. Collusion, like I gotta say, man, I think this is an extremely strong team. Initially, when I was reading it, I was thinking that this was a 10-man league, that you're in, but you drafted a really, really good team. Like Kyler, I think Kyler's going to come out and he's going to do his thing. He's got more weapons to work with, and hopefully he's healthy. So that would be great. Justin Jefferson, hey, as Rich, he already said it. And he thinks he's the best wide receiver in the league, and arguably he is. I mean, you have to entertain that. Devontae Smith is probably the best 2 that you can find in the league. Well, outside of those boys down in Miami and, Waddle, but well, I digress. But then you have very strong running backs. So you have the running backs that are going to get the lion's share of whatever type of committee there is. Yep. Like Rich said it also, like Zay Flowers is probably the weakest spot on that starting lineup, but he's your flex and you can always rotate to do that. And if Kyle Pitts does what he has the potential to do and what everybody was expecting, that is going to be a very tough team to beat. So I think you did a hell of a job drafting that squad. Well done, my friend. Absolutely.
And just to touch on Brandon here, Kyler Murray to Marv. Yeah, Marvin Harrison, Rookie of the Year, or Offensive Rookie of the Year. I want to say yes, but I think it's going to one of the quarterbacks. If I had to put my money down on it, it's probably going to Caleb Williams. I would be surprised. He'd have to have a pretty bad year.
Yeah, I agree with that also. I think it's going to go to one of the quarterbacks. It's definitely a quarterback like type an award. But Brandon, I'll tell you what you can do. If you tune into these airwaves next week, you'll probably, get a stronger sense of who we think our offensive rookie of the year is going to be. And we'll have some more, like stats or notes or whatever to back that up. But yeah, as of right now, Marvin Harrison, I love him. I think he's going to be great. I mean, just the pedigree and everything. I hope that he is. But, it is really tough to get it from that position. Like, look what Puka did last year. And
my man. It's a bad year or be a cute Bears QB. Yeah.
Brandon, you're on fire tonight. So, if you like Trevor Lawrence, Brandon, you're probably not going to like the next guy that I talk about because, I mean, I really don't know. No, I'm not staying in Jacksonville. I am leaving Jacksonville. I'm going up, a couple states. I'm going over to Tennessee, Nashville to be exact. And I'm going to talk about Will Levis. Ooh. And this is so funny because last year I was anti-Levis, trying to get away from everything. But I'm looking at the position that he is in right now, mainly because with Callahan coming over and Callahan speaking about how they wanted to open the passing game up a little bit more. And not only did he say that because coach speak, you don't believe anything coaches say in the lying season, unless they're telling you they don't like a player. Like, I honestly believe that Dennis Allen does not like Kendry Miller. But you look at what they've done. They went out and they brought in some other talent to help Levis out. Ridley has come in. They brought in Tyler Boyd. They went and got Pollard as soon as they could to try to help that offense a little bit. They went and got some offensive linemen. And Callahan, his dad is coming to actually coach up that offensive line, which was woeful for them. When you're making moves like that, they are trying to set up that young quarterback. And I feel like they love Will Levis. Well, they want Will Levis more to succeed than other situations around the league. Like, I wish the Panthers had done a lot more stuff like that to kind of help out Bryce Young. But so when you see that, I think that he has all the tools to actually see it. And when we're talking about arm talent, Will Levis definitely has arm talent. He really can make all the throws, which gives him that high upside and that high potential. He's also a little more athletic than we think, and he has an opportunity to grow because he is young, and they're putting parts around him that are, going to help him get to what he can be. And with that improvement, it's going to be very rewarding over time. Also, like I said, the team's investment in development. But if you look at the AFC South, it really does seem like every team in the AFC South is trying to get better, trying to be competitive, and trying to poise themselves for potential shootouts. And if you have high-scoring teams that you're playing against, then you're going to have to throw that ball more, and you're going to have to keep up some points, which is good. And just because of that opportunity, I like that a lot. And he has some sneaky running ability also. So, and then the price, because I'm a bargain shopper. But Will Levis is my guy for that reason.
I love it. No, I really do. I was out on Will Levis last year when he came out. And I mean, he didn't really show a whole lot last year, but what they built around him and the little bit that he did show, I'm excited to see what he does. I really am. I think that he's going to have a big year. I think you're right.
Yep. I am interested to see it. So, Rich, let's move up to the AFC East. Who's somebody that you're really excited about in the AFC East right now?
I'll be honest. The AFC East, there wasn't a whole lot that I was excited about. No, I'm just kidding. I've been banging the drum actually for this guy all off season. I really have been. As soon as he went to the Buffalo Bills, I was all on board with Curtis Samuel. He is another person that I cannot just quit. I just can't quit him. Finally reunited with Joe Brady. I'm so excited about this. Like, that was his best year back in oh dang, I didn't write it down. 2021, I believe. No, 2020, I believe. As best year back then, he was a low end wide receiver too. And let's be honest, Josh Allen is a far better quarterback than what he had to deal with that year. He was getting balls thrown to him from Will Grier. Players such as Teddy Bridgewater, who I love, suck. PJ Walker,
stud.
Tommy Stevens, who?
Wow, I don't even remember that one. Wow.
Right. So yeah, no, I really do believe that he is going to have a far better year than he did that year. Like I said, he was a low end wide receiver too there. I think he'll be a high end wide receiver too now. I'm not saying that. Well, he'll be like a middling wide receiver too now. I don't think that I don't have aspirations of him being the number one wide receiver in Buffalo and putting up Diggs-like numbers. But I do think that he's going to put up good numbers, and for the price that you can get him at, like you're getting him past the 10th round in most drafts right now. You probably get him for a mid to late second in if you're trying to trade for him, and I'm happy to pay that for a receiver that I think will be one of the better receivers for the next 2 to 3 years while he's there in Buffalo.
Okay, all right.
How about you?
I mean, I'm just going to stay right there in Buffalo just because it's easy. Like, I mean, I don't want to travel. I don't want to be late. So I'm just going to stay right here and just tell you, like, for me, I really like Khalil Shakir right now in Buffalo. And for a lot of the reasons that you're saying for Curtis Samuel, I feel that Shakir is going to fill a bigger part of that role. The Bills offense, it can be explosive at time. And Josh Allen is one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the league. And so they have a high potential for, like, those high value targets and a lot of scoring opportunities just because of the potency of that offense. So Diggs is gone. You have a rookie come in and you bring in Samuel, who is kind of more, I mean, he is a Swiss Army knife. You really can ask him to do a lot of things. But if you're asking, the wide receiver to do the thing that I think that Josh Allen kind of needs him to do the most, which is scramble drills, getting up when, Josh decides to extend the play, like with his legs and whatnot. I think Shakir is going to really thrive in that area of the field. Like, he's extremely versatile. He's also capable of playing inside, and he can play on the outside or whatever. So if you need to move him around the field and actually to scheme some things up, then I think that is going to work. Also, if you started paying attention, after some of the coaching changes, last year, like, you saw Shakir like start to emerge a little bit, but he never really got that takeoff. I think a full season with less opposition for targets in front of him, I think that we will see that he will generate some big plays, and I think he will be a PPR darling. He's also young, so he still has room to grow, and he already has some type of chemistry with Josh Allen, which will be good. And if he spends a majority of his time in the slot, if you have the bigger guys on the outside, it is going to be really hard to match up with him with your linebackers and your safeties. So I like Shakir a lot, and I really like his price because I feel like he is the forgotten man. Everybody loves rookies. So Keon Coleman, everybody loves him. Like, he bought that yellow coat. Everybody loves him. Yeah. I like the guy that nobody's really talking about that I think is going to end up being a surprise this season.
So I feel like we haven't done anything like this before, so I apologize for just throwing this at you, but I feel like this is the perfect time for us to throw in some kind of side bet of who's going to finish better, Shakir
or Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
I'm always down for a pie bet, and I really I know that, Jorge is always a proponent of the pie.
So, okay. All right. Lay it down. What's the pie bet?
All right. So the pie bet is basically, so you and I, like, your team Samuel, I'm team Shakir.
Yeah.
We agree that we are going to, whoever has the better season, the other person has to pie themselves in the face on camera live during one of our shows.
All right. We're talking like just like a whipped cream pie? Or are we talking like I need to go get an apple pie and like?
So the beauty of it, you choose the pie of your choice. I just want to let you know I'm undefeated in pie bets. Preston, like our Fantasy and Frames own Preston, he is what's that team in New England? Like, whoever they are, he's one of their fans or whatever. And so he was betting me that they would beat the Dolphins. And I'm like, Preston, you don't want to do this to yourself. I'm telling you, you are going to lose this bet. But he did it anyway, and he lost the bet. And the pie that he chose, I believe it was like a pecan pie. and he's celebrating himself while he's smashing his pie. I give him all the credit in the world. He was a trooper. He took it like a champ. He really did. But I was like, man, don't choose that dense of a pie. Like,
no, yeah. I'll be honest with you. It's probably gonna be whipped cream, but I don't think it's gonna be me that's gonna be taking it. So I'm on board.
You choose whatever pie you want to. Oh, and the beautiful thing is I can do it hands-free because anytime my wife has the opportunity to embarrass me on camera, I know. So
it's about time we got her on camera. Let's do this. We settled this right here. Yeah.
All right. So just so we are clear, what's the bet? We're betting that who has the better
fantasy season? Yeah, better fantasy finish.
And we're saying by total points or
total points.
All right. So
straight up.
All right, so mark it down. Better fantasy finish, total points, Curtis Samuel or Khalil Shakir.
This is going to be good.
All right. Good. Hey,
what up, Biggs?
We appreciate you, man. Hey, go ahead and write this down. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and write this down also. Make sure that we don't forget.
That's right.
I think Rich is going to want to forget. I just want to go on record saying, Rich, you did this to yourself. Brought it up, and I can't wait now. Right?
Oh,
you know what? We need to get a tally that we just keep our side bets on. And end of season we might be taking 10 pies. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Rich. So I'm gonna. So we're not gonna agree on the best finish in Buffalo right now, but we're gonna move to the AFC West. Tell me one guy that you like from the AFC West.
I'm gonna go with another one of my guys that I've been talking about all off season, and I'm gonna say Xavier Worthy. Nice, thank you, Biggs. That's right, my man. But no, Xavier Worthy. He is the receiver that you're going to want in Kansas. I really do believe that he is going to be exactly what the team has been missing since they lost Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that he's Tyreek Hill, but he's what they've been missing since they lost him.
Okay.
If anything, I like Andy Reid's comparison more to the fact that he kind of compared him to Deshaun Jackson. And that is a great comparison. I mean, if I'm a receiver, I'm glowing right now. If I'm compared to Deshaun Jackson, I'm going to be honest.
Right.
So, no, I love what he brings to the table. I loved what I saw in the preseason. That the what was it, 70 yards and a touchdown that he had. And I mean, in limited capacity because he's running with the ones and everything. Like, I am so excited to see what Xavier Worthy does this season with Patrick Mahomes, and he's my AFC West #1 guy.
Okay, yeah. So for me in the AFC West, I'm gonna go a little different or whatever. Like Josh Palmer is the guy that I'm trying to scoop up in leagues, and the reason why I'm trying to scoop him up in leagues because A, he's cheap. B, not a lot of people are talking about it. He's not generating a lot of buzz. With Justin Herbert like dealing with the injury a little bit and the addition of the new coaching staff where you have Harbaugh coming and you have Roman over there helping, assisting and all that. Everybody thinks that it's going to be like 100% run and nobody's excited about any of these no-name wide receivers that they have unless it's a laddie boy.
We're all glad for Lad.
Yes, which I kind of understand, but those are opportunities where you can thrive. He has a rapport with Herbert, and he actually can get out there. He can play inside. He can play outside. And I really believe that he is more talented than Quentin Johnston. but
yeah, I'm with you.
That's a little bar to clear.
Right.
Yes. So what I'm thinking, like, I think the way that that the Chargers are going to play football this season, I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be exactly what we're expecting. Yes, they will lean heavy on the run, and I think that Herbert will still get his. I think he will just be much more efficient while doing it. I think that the team will be coached better in gameplay situations, which would actually put them in a position to win versus coaching to lose, which Staley lost so many games. It was absolutely embarrassing, like how many games did he lost. I think that because the team will be better structured and better coached, that Justin Herbert won't feel the need to actually win every game by himself. And he will use the players that he has and we'll go out there and make it, like a thing. But yes, with a talent, like, man, Palmer really does have the talent. He's very cheap, like I already said, reliable hands. And what else do you have to lose right now? Like if you're betting on who is going to emerge in that system, so many of them really can. But I'm going to go with the guy that's shown me a little something so far versus one guy who made me think that maybe he doesn't belong in the league and then an incoming rookie. And we'll just see how that all shakes out. So that's for me. But
Yes.
like, I'm talking about Herbert. I mean, like the Josh Palmer, his quarterback. You got anything? Like, how do you feel about Herbert?
I love Herbert. He was one of my other guys that I was going to talk about.
No, tell me.
Well, just a little bit of something like you were already talking about. He's being crazy discounted in startups and in leagues in general. I don't think that most owners are ready to give up on him yet because they invested so much in him to begin with.
Yeah.
But no, like in a startup right now, I mean, you're looking past the 4th or 5th round. Well, in like a super flex for him, which is just crazy to me. Like 2 years, he was a QB1 every year except for last year, and that was when he only played 13 games, and he was still quarterback 17. like he's no slouch. He's good, and I just he's probably going to take a little bit of a step back. The coaching change with Harbaugh and everything, it's going to change the offense a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I can't see him not being one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I will say, however, there's the part of me that wants to make a second pie bet. but I don't want to do that quick. I don't want to do it that quick. No, I will say, however, my wide receiver, like you're saying, you want somebody that's down there right now. My guy is DJ Chark.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love DJ Chark, man. DJ
you have a
Chark,
type.
DJ Chark, DJ Chark. Yeah.
You have a type. You definitely have a type. You really do.
No, this was good, man. This was good.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, real quick before we go anywhere, I just want to say, anybody in the chat right now, if you want to get in a Vampire League, I just want to throw it back out there one more time because we've got a few people out there. We're looking for one more person to join the Vampire League that we're doing with the draft show. If you have a good Vampire team name and are able to draft tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with us, 9 o'clock Eastern, drop that team name down in the chat right now. If it has to be Vampire themed, and we'll get you in the league.
Yeah, let's come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good times. You can make pie bet and like make Rich pie himself again, because I just foresee Rich just taking a lot of pies to the face. And Biggs, I mean, you're cool and all, but I mean, I think you're wrong. So I hope you do screenshot it. And just want to let you know that I'm not going to say I told you so, but I'm going to be like, damn it, I told you so.
Do I have to do them all on the same night, or am I supposed to spread them out? Just making sure for future pie bets.
Hey, however you want to do it. We can have a pie bet night, and we can just spread it out, just pie you throughout the whole offseason. It really doesn't matter. I don't think that this face is going to be clean.
By the time this is over, there's going to be one every week.
Yes.
That's how we're going to end the show every night.
Yes, we're going to have to create a special segment, pies and frames. We got you guys. All right, everybody. With that is another episode of Dynasty 365. Big thanks to all who supported us by watching and everybody who's listening as well. Thank you to the people in YouTube who are in the chat rocking with us. We definitely appreciate you. And on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us right now, we appreciate you as well. Be sure to get out there on Twitter and follow. Sometimes we tweet some cool stuff. He's at Rich Sickles GBM, and I am at Dynasty Deviant. Also, you can visit us and the Fantasy and Frames family at fantasyandframes.com. Subscribe to the show on YouTube or wherever you consume your favorite podcast. While you're there, please just give us a like, leave a comment, subscribe, leave a review. We would definitely appreciate that. Hit that bell so you're notified whenever new content drops. And I just want to let you know right now, this season, Fantasy and Frames is bringing it with the content. We want to make sure that you are prepared in whatever league or format you are playing in. Like all the Fantasy and Frames shows, we're Dynasty 365, where we have you covered for your Dynasty needs. Fourth and Frames, they follow us on Wednesdays, and that's where they provide you that killer redraft content. Shoot the Gap comes through with the IDP content as well. And the Football Weekly and Draft Show. The Draft Show, you guys are always killing it. Again, thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Be sure to make sure you drop that vampire theme name or drop it to us on Twitter. That works as well. All right, guys. We thank you so much. We appreciate you. Let's go out there and dominate all these dynasties. Rich, take us out. Good night, everybody.
Let's go.